the year and three-time loser, The Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on The Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course, at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Thursday. It is the Jason Walker Show here inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Make sure you give J.R. McFadden a call if you're looking to buy a home and you just don't know where to start. Give J.R. McFadden a call at Major Mortgage. Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Appreciate you joining us on the Facebook Live, also YouTube Live, and on Podbean, on TreasureStateRadio.com, Network One Sports, just a kind of a little bit of everything. And yeah, we just appreciate you joining us everywhere that you want to listen and can listen and should listen. Does that make any sense? I think so. All right, so big show coming up today. Oh, by the way, go to JasonWalkerShow.com for all of your Jason Walker Show interests. Download old shows and much more. If you missed anything from this week, Bill Engvall, Flint Rasmussen. Today we're going to talk to Colton Poole of the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Came out last night that Montana State is going to be considering cost of attendance for its student athletes. North Dakota State does this. Most North Dakota schools do this. And it puts, Jeff Choate talked about it before the North Dakota State game with Montana State in the semifinals last December, just about a month ago, that Montana State was behind the 8 ball a little bit. And great article from Colton Poole. But Leon Costello, the athletics director, announced yesterday that the possibility, potentially, could provide, starting this year, cost of attendance for Montana State student athletes. We'll talk to Colton Poole about that a little bit. Rocky Erickson will join us as well. We're going to chat about high school sports as we hit, I don't want to say the midway point of the basketball season, but it's pretty close to it. I mean, we're not very far away, like less than about 45 days or so away from state tournaments, something like that, for basketball. Of course, wrestling is just a few weeks away, and swimming as well. We're going to talk Frontier basketball. There were some games last night up in Havre. There's games tonight in Havre. There's games in Lewiston, Idaho, and there's games in Butte. We'll talk about those. Got a Big Sky Conference preview. And we're also going to chat high school basketball and some rodeo as well. And big on this day in history coming up too. So, whole lot of stuff going on. But let's go back to the cost of attendance. And it's a big, big deal. And, you look at Montana State, Montana, University of Montana. What are the ramifications of cost of attendance? What are the benefits? It's basically, you got Title IX to worry about as well, to think about. And not worry about, but you have to think about it. According to the Bozeman Daily Chronicle, Leon Costello, the athletics director, said, quote, "It might be a little ambitious, but we're looking that quickly just because, look, if others are doing it and we're not, we're falling behind. It comes to be a competitive disadvantage for us. We need to act as quickly as we can, so hopefully we can get it all solidified and finalized and move forward as quickly as July 1st, end quote. So here's what cost of attendance is in the NCAA. It's a stipulation that allows athletic programs to pay athletes for college expenses beyond scholarships, which covers things like tuition, room and board, and books. Now, additional money can help fund transportation, maybe a chance for a kid to go home, something like that. Supplies, And just those miscellaneous expenses that are tied to college, such as pens, paper, things like that. Cost of attendance is paid in correspondence with how much a particular athlete already has in scholarship. For example, if a player's on a half scholarship, they can only get paid half of the cost of attendance, not fully. So MSU is going to figure this out. We're going to talk to Colton Poole about this because it's pretty. I mean, it's a dynamic deal. If Montana State follows through with this, it puts Montana on the clock as well. Over there, Kent Haslam and the athletics department at the Grizzlies would have to maybe follow suit because this is a big deal. And Montana State said they're going to do this by raising money. They're not going to do it with state taxpayer money at all. And, they have to, like I said, you got to worry about Title IX, equal funding. You have to worry about NCAA rules because there's certain monies. It's a big thing, and it would put Montana State back up on par, and Montana, with the rest of the FCS, or at least the Missouri Valley, where North Dakota State plays. And let's not forget they've won 8 of the last 9 national championships. And a big part of that is because of the cost of attendance. Now, if you read some of the follow-up comments on the Twitter after the article, some people were saying, look, my kid went to North Dakota State because of its football program, its academics, had nothing to do with cost of attendance. No, but I bet you it helped, didn't it? Because then parents don't have to cover the whole cost. Parents don't have to worry about they don't have to worry about covering half the cost. Well, the school's doing it. So it'll be interesting. Well, we'll talk to Colton Poole. I think it's a good thing. I really do. And I want to get Colton's thoughts to discuss what it really means for Montana State and potentially the University of Montana. Is it feasible? And let's not forget, Montana State just raised like $18 million to fund its new football operations center and to fill in Bobcat Stadium in the north end zone. Where are your donors going to come from now? Because you just went to the well to get $18 million. And now you've got to come up with however much to cover the cost of attendance if you do this by July 1st. So it'll be interesting. We'll get Coulter's thoughts on that coming up. It's going to be very interesting to follow. There's no doubt about that. But like I said, I like the idea, and I think it's a great thing for the colleges, or universities, I guess we should say. But then what does that mean for, like, say, the frontier schools, especially the state ones, Western, Northern? You got the privates in Carroll and Rocky. Tech, how about that? So we'll talk to Colton Poole a little bit later on. The X Games are this weekend. Jason Walker Show, by the way, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Got the X Games coming up this week at Aspen. And Whitefish's Maggie Voisin is scheduled to return to competition. It'll be her first competition since tearing her knee up a year ago. And she is scheduled to compete in women's ski big air and the women's ski slopestyle. Won silver in 2014 at her first X Games, and also won ski slopestyle in 2018. Also had a bronze in big air in Oslo, Norway in 2017. So that's coming up tomorrow night, Maggie Voisin. And coming off a torn ACL from a year ago. I've never torn an ACL. I don't even know if I have one, honestly. I know I do, but I can't imagine the rehab. But this will be her first schedule back, first competition back. The X Games on Aspen will be on ESPN all weekend. Also, Missoula's Quinn Wolferman will compete in an event that's making its debut. Ski Knuckle Huck. Yes, you heard me right. No, I didn't cuss. This isn't like what got me fired. Ski Knuckle Huck. Tonight at 7 o'clock, making its debut in the X Games. So rather than, it's on the big air jump, but rather than going off the jump as usual, they will take the knuckle of the jump and do their most unique trick. Now, 8 skiers are competing for a limited time. It's like they call it a jam session format, and they're all trying to land their best tricks in the highest score. So Quinn Wolferman from Missoula in the big air ski knuckle huck tonight. You gonna watch? It's on ESPN. There you go. Love doing this show. Love our sponsors. Getting more and more every day coming aboard. And appreciate you because we couldn't do this without you. Go to jasonwalkershow.com for our listeners as well. If you'd like to help out, sponsor this show, appreciate it. You can. All right, we got some big stuff coming up. We got lots of great basketball games tonight across the state. We're going to recap the Frontier, what happened last night at Northern, what's going to happen tonight in the Frontier. We got a Big Sky preview as well coming up as they get back to action tonight, both the guys and the ladies. High school, we got a couple of big crosstown games tonight across the state. We'll chat about those. Rodeo update from Denver, the National Western Stock Show. And still to come, Coulter Pool, talking about cost of attendance. But when we return here on the Jason Walker Show, we're going to check in with the man, Rocky Erickson, will join us from Belgrade. That's next. This is the Jason Walker Show, and we thank you for listening. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. The holidays have come and gone, and now is a good time to treat yourself to what you really wanted. A full detail for your vehicle from Auto Concepts. Right now, Auto Concepts is offering a full detail for just $195. Or maybe you want to tint those windows. Auto Concepts does that too. Get that tonneau cover or bed rug you've always wanted and add in remote start, alarms, running boards, lift kits, toppers, winches, bug guards, grill guards, and much more. Check out Auto Concepts on Facebook or visit the website autoconceptshelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
More. Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. We were going to have Kurt Sinnis on today, but something came up and the man had to cancel for reschedule. We'll get him back on. Love Kurt's stories. Still to come, Colton Poole is going to talk about cost of attendance possibly at Montana State. And on this day in history coming up as well. But it is my pleasure to welcome in the real man, the legend. He is legendary across the state of Montana. His name is Rocky Erickson. He's a good friend of the show. How are you, my friend?
Doing good, Jason Walker. Great to be on your program.
Well, it is my pleasure to have you on because I've been waiting to get you on now that I've been on the air again for about a month or so. But you're doing your own thing too. This is like we're in competition, but we're really not.
No, I left the network after 25 years, built a studio in my basement, and I produce 2 sports shows a day. So it's worked out really well.
Yeah, you don't, and you get to talk on my show, so this is a fantastic. You've always been a great friend to me over the last almost 30 years. Can you believe that?
When you were the voice of the Bobcats, doing the PA.
Well, even before that, with the voice of the Bozeman Hawks.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, way back in the day. You were one of the best helps I ever got. So this is a great week for me. Tuesday, I got a chat with Bill Engvall, the comedian. Yesterday, we had Flint Rasmussen on the show, and today we've got Rocky Erickson. This is like a who's who of legends.
There you go, Bob.
All right, so we're about midway through. I think we're like 40-some plus days from state championships being crowned in the middle of March across the state of Montana. What's your takeaway from the first month plus here of the basketball season on the high school level?
It would be a great year to bring back the golden age of Montana high school basketball, the Big 32. When back in the late 60s and early 70s, for 6 seasons, all the A and AA teams were combined, and they played for just one state championship. And during those 6 years, the smaller schools like Libby, Wolf Point, and Laurel won it all. I mean, I think the Billings Central Lady Rams are the best high school basketball team in the state, A or AA. And I think the Hardin Bulldogs are one of the top 2 or 3 in the state in A or AA. So it would be a fantastic year if we had A and AA combined in just one division.
I like that. You, speaking of Hardin, were at the Hardin Lodgegrass game last week. That was 112 to 90 something.
It was epic. My cousin Mike Erickson's the athletic director in Hardin. I've been there before a couple of years ago for the Hardin Lodgegrass game in Lodgegrass. But what made this game so remarkable is that Lodgegrass at the time was ranked number 1 in Class B. Hardin was ranked number 1 in Class A. They're both on the Crow Indian Reservation. And it was also Elvis Old Bull Memorial Day at Lodgegrass, and a lot of the different media was there. And the girls came first, and the Hardin girls scored 81 points. You don't see a girls team that often these days score in the 80s. And then the boys game at halftime was 61 to 51.
Wow.
Now that's the halftime score. I announced Bozeman West Tuesday night, boys. It was 45-41 West. The final score with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to play. In the first quarter, each team had the ball for just one possession. But we know we don't get a shot clock or anything.
No.
So in the Lodgegrass Hardin game, the final score was Hardin 112. Lodgegrass 92. Lodgegrass scores 92 points and gets beat by 10 points. Now, if that particular game would have had a 10-second shot clock, it would have not made any difference at all. It was blur ball at its best and very, very highly entertaining.
Did it remind you, as Rocky Erickson joins us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, did it remind you of some of those games back in the 80s with Park High, with the Furch brothers and, the Brownings and the Hardins and those type of games? Just up and down?
When the Roberts Rockets were averaging over 100 points a game during the regular season. Yeah, I mean, it was really, really fun to be a part of. Now, granted, there wasn't a whole lot of defense.
Well, no.
But Lodgegrass had a player that went off for 37. Famous left hand scored 35. And Famous wears uniform number 52 because his hero, Elvis Old Bull, wore number 52.
And for those that don't know about the legacy of Elvis Old Bull, give us a history lesson.
Elvis Old Bull played for the Lodgegrass Indians back in the early 80s when Lodgegrass won 3 state championships in a row. At all 3 years, Elvis Old Bull was named the state tournament's most valuable player. He averaged around 27 points a game. Now, Lodge Grass had a great team, but Elvis Old Bull was the leading scorer. He led the team in rebounding. He led the team in assists, and he led the team in steals. He had a game his senior season where he had 22 assists in one game. He was probably more of a phenomenal passer than he was a scorer. Now, I think the two greatest players I've ever seen play the game at the high school level is Jonathan Take Enemy of Hardin and Elvis Old Bull of Lodge Grass. But if you ask Jason Walker about an old time, who's the greatest player that I've ever seen play, they will say it would be Larry Curdyweasel, who played in early and mid-50s for Hardin. Now, the best thing that happened to me on my trip to Lodge Grass that night was when the famed Larry Curdyweasel came up to me after the game and said, Rocky, thank you for making the trip to Lodge Grass.
That's pretty awesome. And, I mean, you talk about the history of high school athletics and basketball, which is what we're talking about. There has been some fantastic Native American players, and it's just been awesome to watch. Mike, you think about Mike Chavez in high school. How good was he?
He was incredible. Yeah. And, famous Hardin's team this year, they have Trey Huggs as a 6'4" point guard. Their smallest starter is 6'2". Famous has signed to play at Rocky, and I'm going to be really looking forward to watching him play because he's going to be a really, really good Frontier Conference player.
He is.
No question.
He is for
so
sure.
When you talk Class A basketball for 2020, the Hardin Bulldogs they're in a class by themselves. Now, Livingston, Brennan Johnson's averaging 27 points a game for Park High, and Livingston has played Hardin tough both times. Billings Central just has their 6'8" player from Hungary who's going to be eligible to play this weekend, and Central has been in the state championship game 4 years in a row. They get better every week. Central and Hardin will meet Friday night at Metra. There's going to be 4,000 people at Metra, Jason, for a regular season game. They moved the Central Hardin series to Metra the last 4 years.
That is just awesome. It's awesome for high school basketball.
2 years ago at that event was one of the most special nights of high school basketball I've ever witnessed. The girls' game went double overtime. Mm-hmm. The boys' game went 3 overtime. A 5 overtime in 2 games.
How did your voice handle it?
As I get older, I get a little bit smarter because I know I can't get overly excited and lose it. I've done that before. Now, I got to tell you a story, boss. You got a minute for a story?
I've got all the time in the world for you, Rocky.
All right. Last Tuesday, it's the 143rd edition of the West Senior Game. Something took place that night that I've never witnessed before in my life. And I've announced over 3,000 games. And you would think I would have seen everything. West High won over seniors 64-43. West High hit 8 3-pointers in the game. But West High never once went to the free throw line. Not that West High never made a free throw. West High never attempted a free throw in the entire game. Now, Jason Walker, have you ever witnessed a game, whether it be junior high, freshman, high school, college, where a team never shot a free throw?
I don't believe so. I've witnessed games where teams have only shot 2, 3, or 4, but never 0, I don't believe.
Well, I've witnessed games where they never made a free throw.
Well, we've all done that.
But, yeah. But never even, and I had to tell the coach. I went to Coach Dale and I said, you know how many free throws you shot? He said, no. I said, none. He said, no, that's not right. I said, you did not take a free throw. People that were there they didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. What just happened.
It's crazy. Like
But,
I said,
don't tell nobody, Jason, but AA basketball is a little bit boring to watch. I mean, it's just every shot is contested. It's unbelievably great defense, and there's not a whole lot of scoring.
yeah, there's not this year.
There's no flow. They don't go up and down the court. And you got 3 referees, and they're stopping the game every 15, 20 seconds. And it's just, it's a different game today. The kids are bigger, they're stronger, they're more physical. I mean, girls basketball. First thing people mention that come from out of state and go to a game with me, they are shocked at how physical Montana high school girls basketball is.
Mm-hmm.
And it is.
Definitely. Rocky
And
Erickson,
it's good.
our guest here, Jason Walker Show on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. You've got a AA game tonight. You've got West at Belgrade on the boys' side.
It's a story. You know how I like to do the series records?
Yeah.
You know, the 143rd West Senior. Well, tonight, Jason Walker, the series record between West and Belgrade, leading up to tonight, is 0-0. This is the first time Billings West has ever played Belgrade.
That's crazy.
Belgrade is the first Montana high school to have played in all 4 classifications. Their first year of AA basketball.
It didn't go well in football. It's not going great in basketball. But
You know, they're 1-7. They're 0-6 against AA. And I knew they were going to. They're only scoring 35 points a game. And I knew it was going to be a problem watching them at divisional last year. They had a couple of good players, but they were seniors. And yeah, it's been a tough go. But think about where we're going to be at. You know, next year. You know, next year in the Eastern AA, you're going to have Bozeman split up, Gallatin, and Belgrade.
yeah,
So I know Bozeman just won a state championship, but you split up Bozeman, and 2 years from now, you know, it's going to be an interesting situation.
I completely agree. And with 3 schools at AA level in the Gallatin Valley, I mean, that's like West and Senior and Skyview and the Missoula's AA's, but I never thought I'd see the day.
I mean, right now, well, Belgrade's the smallest AA school.
Mm-hmm.
Before last year at this time, the 3 Missoula schools were the 3 smallest. Next year, the 3 smallest AA schools will be Bozeman, Gallatin, and Belgrade.
That's crazy. When Bozeman has, 2,200, and they're going to drop, you know.
Well, you know what somebody said the other day? This never would have worked. But they're like, why not just take half of Bozeman, put them in Belgrade, and only have 2 schools instead of 3, and they'll both be around 2,000 students.
That's not a good idea.
And Missoula should be down to 2, and they would be competitive.
That's true. Although the Hellgate and Sentinel boys and girls are pretty tough this year in the West.
Hellgate girls are amazing. You know, last year when they started 4 freshmen, I announced their first game, and I told the coach, I said, you're going to go to state. You're going to have a good season. They went to state. They got 3rd, and they're one of the best AA teams in the state this year, and they start 3 or 4 sophomores. Yeah, there's no question. I mean, Hellgate girls are very good. The Hellgate boys should be in the Frontier Conference. They're the leading scoring team in AA. They average 65. They're the best defensive team in AA. They give up 40. You know, Raleigh Worcester and the boys in the league all by themselves. There's no way. The only way they can lose if you have a Villanova situation where, you know, a team's going to shoot 75%.
Yep.
Even then, I don't know if you can beat them. I mean, it's AA basketball this year on the boys' side. It's Hellgate, Capitals, a notch or 2 down, and then everybody else.
Yep. No, I agree. And on the girls' side, you got, you know, Hellgate, Capital girls, and I don't know about the East. Tell me about the Eastern AA.
Well, the West Side girls are frustrating. I thought they should have won the state championship a year ago. They were playing so well. They went 21-2. They finished 2nd. You know, this year, there was a game I announced with West girls, Jason, where they had 5 girls on the court, 6 feet or taller.
Jeez.
Every girl on the court was taller than 6 feet. The Albrecht girls, Willard's going to go play for the Lady Grizz. They got Mackenzie Rask, a transfer out of Miles City, one of the best players in Class A year ago. She hit 6 threes, one off for 20 the other night. They got this Leighton Lantis girl, transfer out of Terry. I mean, they're loaded. And they barely have a winning record right now. You know, but the West High girls are dangerous. I mean, they can play with anybody. They can beat anybody. But right now, they're not. Well, against Senior last week, they scored 29 points through 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Then they scored 30 in the fourth. Come on. A girls' basketball team scoring 30 points in 1 quarter?
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever heard of that before.
Man, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to check the Helena High girls the last couple of years because they put up some points. So I'd have to
Jamie Pickens was a superstar.
Well, yeah, and Helena High struggling right now. Got Crosstown tonight in Helena, by the way.
How about those Crosstown games the last couple of years?
Unbelievable.
How about Helena High, Helena Capital girls in the semifinals of the state tournament last year?
Yeah.
I had to be honest, that was one of the ugliest girls' games I ever seen.
Yep.
It played at such a high intensity that they didn't play that well.
Right. There's a lot at stake.
Oh, man, that was amazing to witness. I mean, the crowd, every loose ball, every foul was like the end of the world. I mean, it was really something to witness.
So you got the Hellgate boys winning the AA, and we're a month and a half away. Who wins the girls?
I got the Hardin boys winning.
Okay.
And you know who I like, but they're not getting a lot of respect right now, is I really like Scobie and Fairview in Class C boys hoops, but they're not getting the respect they deserve. I mean, Scobie's undefeated, and Fairview's only loss was to Scobie. So I know Fort Benton's good, Roy Winifred's good, Bellstone, but I got to be honest with you, I like Scobie and Fairview in C. Manhattan Christian, they got 1 loss. Twin Bridges is undefeated, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Class B, Lodgegrass, Huntley.
Yep.
I mean, if Lodgegrass is number 1 and they got Huntley number 2, and Lodgegrass beat them by 30, I think Colstrip might be a better team than Huntley. Three Forks. Fairfield's got a great player. He's averaging 24 points a game. I think B is wide open. It's Lodgegrass's to lose for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I don't like about this year's state tournament? All 8 state tournaments on the same weekend.
See, I love that. I think it's
Jason
great.
Walker, I love Class C. I love Class A. I will never see another Class C tournament as long as I live.
I think it's a great thing. I like it.
It's not good for the basketball fan. They can't watch more than one state tournament.
That's why they have you can watch all of them on your smartphones.
You're at the stinking game. It's like a blur. I got 3 tournaments in a row, and it's all a blur to me. You get to the gym at 7 in the morning, you leave at 11:30 at night, and then somebody comes up to you, Rocky, how about that great play? Like, what game are you talking about? I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I see that point, but I just think it's good for if you've got both schools, if you got both boys and girls at the same tournament, which is great because if you have the same, the Capital, for instance, or Flathead, let's say that's not going to happen, but the West High boys and girls, both can be at state. And and I know you're not going to be able to watch the B's and the C's, but here's the thing with that: if you're going to watch your school, you're not going to go to the Class B tournament anyway. You're there watching. Let's say you're in Butte, you're not going to go to Great Falls.
True, but Class B and C fans are different fans than AA.
They are, and I think B and C are great.
They won't leave the gym. They'll watch every game, no matter if it's their team or not.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, the West boys fans are going to show up at 9 o'clock, and they're going to go back to the hotel.
Yep. No, that's true. I see that. So.
but not me. I'm there for the whole thing.
You're there. I'm thinking about going to
All
Double A this year.
I got a trivia question for my friend Jason Walker.
Okay.
Tonight, I'm at the Special Events Center in Belgrade, a seating capacity of 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the largest high school gym in the state. Who has the largest high school gym in Montana?
It's not going to be a Double A school.
It's not going to be a Class A school. You give up?
No, not yet. I'm thinking. It's not Laurel.
For $1.5 million.
Can I call a friend? Can I call Rocky Erickson?
The Willie DeGroat Gymnasium, built in 1973 in Cut Bank, Montana, seats 5,500.
Wow.
Cut Bank, Montana, Class B, 5,500 seats. That is Montana's largest high school gym.
I like that. And on this note, because you're a busy dude, I just got a note. Last week, the Big Sky boys did not shoot a free throw versus the Capital boys. So there you go.
Get out of here!
No, I just got that note.
What is going on today?
I don't know. Nobody drives anymore. It's all about the three-point shot. Nobody penetrates the lane.
Seriously, that's a lot of it right there.
Yep, absolutely it is.
And it also has something to say about the aggressive defense of the opponent too.
Yep.
Not that aggressive.
No, I agree.
Now the game I did the other night, West Bozeman, that was 45-41. It was over in 65 minutes.
Wow. You gotta like
start
that.
To finish, yeah. It was amazing. My wife was a little shocked when I got home. What are you doing here?
You're never home this early, honey.
Exactly.
Have a great call. I want you on more. Can you come on more?
If you can put up with me, Jason Walker.
Oh, well, I just did for 22 minutes.
I know.
That's awesome. Because you're the best.
I'm there for you, boss. Let me know how I can help. All right.
You need to come up and sometime hang out in my man cave, which I've built a studio here. So
you know what? Let me survive basketball and let me get my life. Let me get my life back, and we'll do that. All right.
I like that, Rocky. Have a great call tonight in the Belgrade, and we'll talk to you down the road.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Thanks, Rocky. That is Rocky Erickson joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Rocky, he is the best, man. There is nobody better than Rocky Erickson when it comes to high school Montana sports. But yeah, Cut Bank. That's a great trivia question. And thanks, Rocky. All right, we got some Frontier to talk about. We've got some high school to talk about and some Big Sky. And we're going to do it when we come back. But we're also going to chat with Colton Poole of the Bozeman Daily Chronicle and talk about the cost of attendance that Montana State, Leon Costello is proposing, maybe by this fall. We'll talk about it with Colton when we come back. How feasible is it? We'll find out next. Jason Walker Show.
The holidays have come and gone, and now is a good time to treat yourself to what you really wanted. A full detail for your vehicle from Auto Concepts. Right now, Auto Concepts is offering a full detail for just $195. Or maybe you want to tint those windows. Auto Concepts does that too. Get that tonneau cover or bed rug you've always wanted and add in remote start, alarms, running boards, lift kits, toppers, winches, bug guards, grill guards, and much more. Check out Auto Concepts on Facebook or visit the website autoconceptshelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918 or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Thursday here on the Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Still to come on this day in history, the walk-off. Get you set for the Frontier and Big Sky games tonight. And a big couple of Crosstown High School basketball games tonight as well. So all that is coming up here. Jason Walker Show presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. So it came out last night. Great article in the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. You can read it online or get the newsprint edition. But joining us now is Colton Poole, who is the sports reporter at Bozeman Daily Chronicle. And he wrote a great article about Montana State possibly going to the cost of attendance this year. And that's a great thing, possibly. And Colton joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show inside the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. And Colton, is this feasible, first off?
Yeah, great question. It's hard to say because, talking to Leon, he seemed pretty optimistic that they could have this privately funded, and there a lot goes into that because they've had pretty good success with donors, as I mentioned in the story. Mm-hmm. That they obviously got enough fundraising done to get the Bobcat Athletic Complex and the renovations to the brick done. So they'll have that in a couple years, and so obviously there's a lot of enthusiasm, and coaches and Leon are pretty optimistic that they can get enough funds for this. But and also something else that that should be mentioned here is that just because it's the cost of attendance and offering additional financial aid to the athletes, that doesn't necessarily mean full cost of attendance. That however much they do bring in for this, that as long as it's following correct procedures and percentages and Title IX and all that, that it doesn't have to necessarily be the full cost of attendance. It can just be some, and even that little sum I think would go a long way for recruiting and therefore probably inspire more enthusiasm for getting the funds to do so. So I think it's a lot of uncharted territory with all of this, especially considering I believe it's the first Big Sky school to do this. So it's some uncharted territory, but obviously Montana State's been pretty ambitious, as Jeff Choate has proven, head coach of the football team, pretty ambitious. They're willing to try stuff out and see if it can work. And, the way things are going right now, the momentum that this athletic department has, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull this off for next school year and then continue to build on that and maybe increase the funds that they can offer in the near future.
Well, let me ask you this, and this really came out in the forefront, and Leon Costello, the athletics director, said in your article that he's been thinking about this since he got the job in 2016. But last month, before the semifinal game, Coach Choate brought it up that MSU, and really the rest of the nation for the most part, was playing at a disadvantage because North Dakota State offers full cost of attendance, as does, I believe, North Dakota, a former Big Sky school. But everybody took it the wrong way. North Dakota State fans said that he's whining, whatnot. It was really Coach Choate, who's a smart guy, I think, challenging the athletics department that Montana State needs to do this to keep up with the Joneses. And by that, I mean the Bison.
Right, exactly. And, you saw that before they completed the fundraising for the addition to the football stadium, that he was pounding the table every other Monday press conference that, hey, they need to get this done if they're going to compete. If they want to be a top-notch FCS program, they need to get the fundraising done for that. and not only for FCS football, but the whole athletic department, all the other teams would benefit because of the additions to the brick as well. So he's always thinking about the next step. Okay, now what next step do we need to take in order to become a top-notch team that's competing with NDSU and James Madison, and I think South Dakota State does offer that as well. And you mentioned North Dakota. So there's a few regional schools that are offering this, and if you're going to be recruiting against them, if you're going to be competing against them, and if you legitimately want a shot at a national championship, you've got to make the steps and strides in order to do so. So yeah, I think it's interesting looking back now because as you said, and a lot of people from Fargo were saying how he's whining, and from my perspective, for some weird reason, the Bison players and coaches took that as like a slight, and I think they were just looking for any motivation they could get, just because they've been so dominant, and so they're trying to find any sort of spin to maybe get some inspiration. But I think that looking back, it's really interesting now because maybe he knew that they were closer to this than a lot of people realized at the time, and so now they feel that they're close, that they're optimistic that they can make this happen for next school year.
Well, so here's what it basically is you have partial attendance paid for with scholarships. I mean, you have your tuition, your books, things like that. Explain exactly what cost of attendance would do for Montana State athletics as a whole. Yeah, so it's essentially, and the coaches said that this would be a major kind of boost in recruiting. A scholarship pays for tuition, books, room, board, kind of the basics when it comes to going to college. Mm-hmm. But I think cost of attendance is kind of in light of the movement of trying to get college athletes paid. And so it's not exactly pay for play or anything like that, but it's as Leon said in the story, a addition to or an extension of a scholarship, where if you have a scholarship, you can get a certain percentage of additional things that are tied to going to college, because a lot of these student athletes, they're dedicating so much time to sports that they don't have time to pick up a job at your local gas station or fast food restaurant. So they've made it so that they can pay for a few additional things through the cost of attendance. So like say transportation or miscellaneous expenses that, like I say, are tied to going to college and being able to go to practice or what have you. And so a lot of that could be paid for because of cost of attendance. Like I say, the things that are tied to going to college. So, like Tricia Binford, the head coach of the Bobcat women's basketball team, I think she said in your article something to the effect of this would help, like maybe get a player's family to come visit or them to go home. How does that? I mean, explain that to me. Yeah, so I think what she was essentially saying was, being able to, I guess, instead of the extra time dedicated, so like picking up a job during winter break or something like that, they have time because they have these things paid for. They have time now to go and see family. I think what she was getting at was the time that it frees up for them to do things like personal things, like visiting your family for the holidays or what have you. I gotcha. Okay. We just had a couple of people were asking, like, what exactly does cost of attendance mean? All right, so my first question was the feasibility. What would it cost for, let's say, Leon Costello wants to start this July 1st, and what would it cost to get all of athletics, the entire athletic department, to have cost of attendance partially for this upcoming year? I don't think there's a really concrete number on that. I think it's essentially variable X, where if like I say, like NDSU, when they came out and were going to pay cost of attendance, and I brought NDSU up a few times, not only because of in light of Choate's
remarks before the semifinal game, but also because it's a close school and also offers full cost of attendance. When NDSU came out with full cost of attendance, I think that bill was up to $700,000, but that was again it's for full cost of attendance. Whereas Leon, I got the impression that they're thinking partial, and so however much money they can bring in, they can get from donations, however much money they can get, that will then be dispersed accordingly, however much that is. If they get $700,000, great. If they get something else, then something lower, which I would imagine is likely. That is kind of dispersed accordingly, like I say, based on percentages and accordance to Title IX and all that.
Right. And Title IX plays a big part of this because it's not just, for football. This is across the board for all sports at Montana State. And, that includes, I guess, tennis, skiing, volleyball, basketball, everything that's involved.
Right.
So,
right.
In your opinion, does it happen?
A lot to think about.
Does it happen this year?
In my opinion, and I don't have really a source on this or anything, I get the feeling that, again, because it could be partial, I get the feeling that it could happen, especially, like I say, Leon was able to get the fundraising done for these new facility plans, and that's something that's, new facilities and additions have been talked about for years, and he comes in and gets it done in a couple short years' time. So I wouldn't bet against Leon and his vision and his ability to bring in funds for this, especially because of the recent success. I imagine that has to spark a lot of interest, not only football, but what Danny's doing with the men's basketball team, women's basketball. There's a lot of enthusiasm around this athletic department. And volleyball is doing what they're doing. There's a lot of enthusiasm, so I wouldn't be surprised if something like this, Leon can say to donors, both new and old, that hey, what you've been doing is awesome, but if you give just a little bit more, and I think it was 500 unique donors for the recent athletic building renovations or additions. So they obviously have a lot of people that they can go to. I think, like I say, I wouldn't bet against Leon and what they've done recently, and what they could do. So I would say that some form of partial cost of attendance is offered here next school year.
Well, I appreciate you joining us on such short notice, my man. It was a great article to read, and if you want to read it, just go to the Bozeman Daily Chronicle online. You can follow Colton at C-Pool Reporter on the Twitter. Great article. Keep it up, man. I love reading your stuff, and look forward to having you come on again.
Yeah, appreciate it, and appreciate the time. You have a good one.
Thanks. Colton Poole joining us, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. Appreciate him taking some time out of his schedule. So cost of attendance, it's something we'll talk about more. I mean, this is something that's going to happen at Montana State probably this year, and now it puts Montana on the clock too. The Grizz are going to have to answer. They're going to have to do this too. And they just got a bunch of money, and for their Champions Character Center, whatever it's called, that they're going to have to think about this too. And so, like Colton said, Leon Costello, Waded Cruzado, the president, they understand how big athletics is at Montana State, and they're doing all they can to keep up with the Bison of North Dakota State and the Grizz in basketball. So I think it's a great idea. Jason Walker Show, support for the Jason Walker Show comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. There's no nicking. There's no cutting. The Lawnmower 2.0 proprietary skin-safe technology. This trimmer will not, like I said, it will not snag or nick, and accidents are a thing of the past. Get the crop preserver as well, an anti-chafing deodorant and moisturizer. You put deodorant in your armpits, put it on the smelliest part of your body. Get it done. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. Use the right tools for the job. The Lawnmower 2.0. And the boxers. You get boxers with the full package. It's unbelievable. They're very comfortable. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code WALKER20. That's WALKER20, WALKER20 at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Manscaped.com, use the code WALKER20. All right, so let's get real quick to On This Day in History, and we'll fly through it real quick as the Detroit Red Wings on this date in 1944 scored 8 goals in one period. Actually, that was in 1943, and then a year later, 15 goals in a game as they won 15-0. Let's see. What else happened? Not a whole lot. Well, there did, but nothing really interesting. Stan Musial named the GM of the St. Louis Cardinals, the former player, back in 1967. And Willie Mays elected to the Hall of Fame in 1979. He was pretty darn good. Let's see. The Mud Bowl, Miami Dolphins beat the Jets 14-0 in 1983. There you go. And some, not a whole lot. So, gumbo and really the best Cajun food this side of Louisiana. Make sure you stop by Cafe Zydeco, Helena, Butte, Bozeman, Billings, and in Helena, I got a gift card to give away. Go to jasonwalkershow.com, sign up on the bottom of the page for our email list. Not spam, not selling it, just keep you up to date, and I'll get you a gift certificate to Cafe Zydeco here in Helena. Also good in Butte, so there you go. All right, so last night, Carroll men and women swept at MSU Northern. Big loss for both, and the Carroll men have lost a couple in a row over the last week. They lost to Western, and now they've lost to Northern, and they get Providence at Great Falls this week coming up. So both the men and women losing on the road last night at Northern. Tonight, you have some big games. You've got LC State at home hosting, who do they host? Western tonight in the men and women. You've got Rocky is at Tech, and Providence is at Northern, men and women tonight. So a couple of big games there. You have Crosstown, big games tonight, and we'll get to the high school here in a second. You've got men's basketball in the Big Sky. The Cats and the Grizz are at Weber and Idaho State, respectively. They'll flip-flop Saturday. And then, so that means the Lady Grizz and the Bobcat women are at home tonight and Saturday with Weber and Idaho State. And like I said, crosstown action tonight at Helena. You got number 1 Capital girls. They're 8-0, taking on Helena High, the 3-time state champs. And tomorrow night's the boys' game. Glacier and Flathead playing tonight as well. And that'll be a good game. And some great scores. Go to 406mtsports.com and get all of the action and the schedule. 406mtsports.com. Nobody does it better than our friends at 406MT Sports. All right. Real quick, wanted to get some rodeo. It is Pink Night at Capitol tonight. And it'll be a cheer. Halftime tonight will be the cheer squad. And it should be a good one. But it's Pink Night at Capitol tonight for breast cancer awareness. All right, so at Denver, the National Western Stock Show, and Wyatt Bloom of Belgrade took third, and then he won yesterday. So 2 performances. Jesse Cruz of Winston took the Saddle Bronc in the 11th performance yesterday with an 86, and there are some great performances going on. Wyatt Bloom won 83.5 in the 12th performance. Former Montana State Cowboy Jesse Brown won the steer wrestling in the 12th performance, and you can go to ProRodeo.com for all your latest updates. There's some Montanans in the mix for titles at Denver this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, thanks to what's his name, Rocky Erickson, for joining us a little bit earlier. Also had a great conversation with Colton Poole about the cost of attendance at Montana State, which is probably going to happen. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll walk you off on a Friday. We'll get you set for the weekend, and we'll just have a good time. Have a great Thursday. Yeah. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Jason Walker Show at 4. We'll get the replay up for if you missed anything. JasonWalkerShow.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.